karaoke. Really? So a PowerPoint karaoke is where you go on stage and you give a presentation that you've never seen before. And apparently there's no keynote here, or am I?
Oh, is this the presentation?
Yeah. Okay, I'm just.
Oh, I don't have keynote. You're right.
He doesn't have keynote, so we're just gonna. Let me just do this. Okay, so I'm giving somebody else's presentation. I'm going to hold this just because it's probably being recorded, although I should be speaking loud enough. You know what I wanted to say, right? Okay. So, why do research conferences suck? It's a presentation that was written by Joe Stewart, and it's narrated by me. So, let's go. Why do I suck at networking? First of all, a lot of us are introvert, right? This is why we got into this profession anyway. That what enabled us to put it in so much time. As you guys know, it takes at least 10,000 hours to be really, really good at something, and we've all put that in. Being bad at small talk. What exactly is small talk? You come to a conference, what do you talk about? Do you talk about your job? Do you talk about the other guy's job? Do you talk about the weather, the steaks in Texas? What do you do? And I don't like beer. Now, not me in particular, it's Joe. But a lot of the conferences revolve around beer. Or even today we have the happy hour. And people who don't drink find it awkward because what did they do there? There are too many people that have a one-on-one discussion, and you try to have it with everybody else. We are around 150 people here, and you can't have a one-on-one with 149. Not just because combinatorically speaking it won't fit, but because you don't have what to say to all those people, right? And as Joe says, he's bad at this to begin with, so having not just one 101, but 149, that's really not a nice thing. Name tags. We all hate name tags. They're all too small. They're all awkwardly located. We're used to looking people at the eyes when we talk to them, and all of a sudden, lowering your eyes kind of brings in the admission that you don't really know who you're talking to. You have to look at their name. That's not very nice. And the social time, the after hour, usually go to a bar. So some people have to deal with that. It's also noisy. It doesn't work out very well. So why is this here? Why am I, or probably every one of you at this conference, want to do some networking with people who do similar work? This is what brings us all together. We want to learn from each other. I want to know what tools you guys are using and maybe show you the tools that I'm using, and to establish informal sharing relationships. Now, the word informal is very important here because, as you probably know, setting up formal links sometimes is very hard to do. There's a lot of bureaucracy. Are you allowed to talk to that other person? Are you allowed to share that piece of information? And when we meet and when we drink or eat, and then we know each other, then we can make the links much faster and just help each other at the distance of an email or a phone call. So I want to get free or cheap stuff that will help me hurt the bad guys. If someone is sharing something, tools or some information, and give away free stuff that will help others. And it's too small, you can probably not see that, but basically what he's saying is, don't be an asshole. I mean, if I give you free stuff, don't commercially wrap it and then sell it. And if you give me free stuff, don't start charging me after I've already established a system that is dependent on that. So we need a thing. We need something, a mechanism to enable us to get over these difficulties and start talking to each other. And like he says, he wishes that there were a Tinder app for researcher meetings. Anyone? Challenge accepted? All right. So what do we have? Something simple. Something like share a little slide deck that says who you are, what you do, what you're looking for. So here's the proposed format. A picture, who you are, what's your email, what do you do, what do you have to offer, and what are you looking to get from other people? What do you need? So I'll go first. Joe Stewart, right? He does, or I do, malware research for Dell, current focus, Nigerian BEC. I have a low-volume malware feed generated from my bare metal sandbox, And what I need is passive DNS, reverse whois, and non-attributable IP tunnels. And since I'm giving the talk, I took the opportunity. What do? I'm the principal researcher at Perimeter X. I'm mostly researching website automation. I have malicious browser extensions. I have IPv4 reputation in that context, IPs that have been attacking websites in a variety of ways. And what I'm looking for, more malicious Chrome extensions, stuff that is used to interact with a website, click fraud malware, if you guys have that, I'm looking for that, and some IPv6 reputation. And thanks for listening to Joe's talk.
So, thank you, Inbar, for taking on the PowerPoint karaoke bit and doing Joe's talk. I thought it was very important to set the tone for the conference. So 2 things we're doing. Number 1, you received a link to the Google Slides presentation where you can add your own slide in. Please do it. I'll hunt you down, find you if you don't. Number 2, during lunch, we're going to essentially pick a corner, any corner in the room, and say, hey, over here, anybody who's interested in sitting down for lunch and talking about ransomware, this is where we're doing it. Trying to create small circles of people talking about specific operational needs or whatever else they would like to. And with that, we'll call our first speakers and go to the various rooms. April is going to talk over there introducing the philosophy track. Quickly, the idea of the philosophy track for us is to be able to create something by the end of it and present it in the operational track to everybody to make sure it actually stands up on its own. So with that, thank you, and let's get started.